All right. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and who was worthy to be counted for double honors. Peace and salutations to you brothers out there pushing this truth wholeheartedly and sincerely and for love of the gospel. It's the brother Gabaria from the Indiana camp coming back at you again with another sit down. And I'm entitled this a re-upload or a response to the Cashless Society. All right. And I've seen I was I right here I have the beloved Elder Ayash of our camp. He had went in the video about basically Donald Trump doing away with the penny, and that's right there is just a prelude of what's gonna come. All right. Which basically, as the elder said, we're pushing towards a cashless society. All right. And the spirit had me to basically Google why was the credit card invented? Because basically the only forms of currency before the credit card was actual cash and checks, paper. So basically I was just like wondering, like, well, why was the credit card invented? Which I know why, but, trying to see what did Google say. And what it said is the credit card was invented to allow people to pay for goods and services without carrying cash. See, so it was basically invented for a way of convenience. Now, if you was, let's say if you had a couple thousands, if you had a lot of money, you had to carry that around. And the risk of you being robbed, the risk of you losing it, the risk of you being robbed was very likely. So when the credit card came out and people started to understand that, I don't need to carry cash with me in order to, for me to pay for services, pay for goods, that was like a revolutionary. That was like it was reinventing. Like, damn, people probably jumped at the opportunity just because of the convenience alone. See? So when certain, because cash right now is actually an inconvenience. It took a minute because it says what the first modern credit card was in the Diners Club card was introduced in 1950. And right now we in 2025. So roughly 75 years from now, people are just now starting to use, like, I may say just now, but the credit card, the debit card, all are basically is used damn near worldwide. It's very rare people actually use cash, especially in America. Cash is, it's still used, very heavily, but it's a rare occasion. People, usually use their debit card or credit cards. Me personally, I use, either my credit card or debit card. I don't necessarily carry cash. I don't, it's hard. It's actually hard, to carry cash around. To carry cash around, because you fuck around and lose it, fuck around and, forget what you did with it, or you get robbed, and, so it was a way of convenience, so Trump had put in to see, the coin that's being, that's not really profiting, because I think it takes about 3 cents for them to make the penny. And they're not seeing no return on it. So Trump is like, yeah, what, why are we, creating this? Actually, to be honest, I had watched a video of a person going into it, and they said it's actually the dime. The dime takes more, is losing more value than the penny. The penny's still losing value too, but the dime is losing even more because it takes about, I'm sorry, did I say, no, it's like not the dime, the nickel. That's what I meant. It takes about 8 cents for them to make in the nickel, and they're seeing a rapidly decrease of people not using nickels more than they're not using pennies. But basically, this all boils down to they're trying to get rid of the substance, the actual tangible trading material, which is like cash, coins, the half a dollar, the quarter, the dime, the nickel, the penny, and then eventually with the dollar, the $5, and so forth and so forth, man. And this is all how can I say, part of his agenda. This is all, we understand how this man works. We understand how this man thinks. This is all part of his agenda to push what? To that, the MOTB, man. That's what he's gearing to. That's what that's the end outcome. All right. That's the end goal. See, and best believe in 1950 they didn't just create the credit card. Like, no, that credit card was probably in the works for a minute, probably for a good probably 10 to 15 years before it came out. They was just trying to figure out how to implement it. Like the MOTB. The MOTB been here the concept of the MOTB probably been here since the since the 90s, probably even since the 80s. They're just trying to figure out a way to implement it. They're trying to figure out the best way and the best time to implement it. Really, to be honest, they're really just going, the course of the Lord, because the Lord hasn't, the Lord doesn't want them to release that yet. But when they do when the Lord does endow the Spirit upon them to release it, they're gonna release it. Okay, let me grab. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Let me get this in the blue letter because I want to look up two words. Was it 2 and 11? Yeah. So I want to look up that word advantage. Oh, wow, I can't. I want to look at the word devices. So the word devices basically goes into a mental, hold on. Purposes. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So basically it goes into a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose, that which thinks the mind, thoughts, and purpose. See? So it's basically going into the inner workings, which I thought it said that the inner workings of the mind, of evil purpose, purpose itself, device, mind, thoughts. Sense of purpose itself. They must have changed. I mean, which is still on point. I'm not saying it's not, on point. It still goes into his thoughts, but I thought it literally said the inner workings of one's mind, So basically, Satan's devices is his tactics. We're not ignorant of those. At least he should get an advantage of us, because an advantage in a fight is something another person don't. If the game is rigged and I know it and you don't, I have that advantage. But see, the thing about it is we understand the inner workings of his. So really, to be honest, we have the advantage. All right. The Lord has gave us the advantage in this fight, in this spiritual warfare, that we're fighting against Satan right now. The Lord has given us the advantage because what? We know the end outcome. We know what he's coming with, and we know how to avoid it. So we it's like we know the rules of the game. And then on top of that, above all that, we have Yahweh Shem Yahshua backing us up, So because of all that, we know how to avoid punishment. We know what to do when when this man comes to that. It's not gonna deceive us like it's gonna deceive majority of the nation, And another thing too is we gotta understand that he's gonna come with trickery. He's gonna try to come with craftiness when he implements that the MOTB, he's not just gonna come raw, take it. He's gonna try to make it a way of convenience, just like he did with the credit card. He let people no cash, you can't lose, you can't get robbed, you this, that, you have to have the PIN number, you have to have all this information in order to access your cash, so he's gonna come a way of convenience, oh, Get this, you don't have to never carry your wallet. You never have to worry about your ID, losing your ID. You'll always be identified, You want your driver license on it, you just have to scan this and scan that. And then eventually, he could probably gonna come, which he ain't gonna get that far. I'm just, just making an assessment right now. But, he'll probably come out with a phone where it can scan your chip and then it puts all your information in, and shit like that. And when you hop in and pay for a Lyft or a taxi or Uber or whatever, you just scan your, all that extra something. He's going to basically make it a way for people to be like, oh, wow, yeah, this seems very convenient. I don't have to carry this no more. I have to do this. And then people's gonna take it, not realizing that they're just basically signed up for death. But see, he doesn't have that advantage on the elect. You know, he doesn't have that advantage on us. Lord, whether I'm a part of it, but he doesn't have that advantage. We understand how this man's mind works, and we understand what not to trust him. The scriptures talks about that. You know. This is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thy enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. And it's inevitable for iron to rust, man. I think with oxygen, you know, makes iron rust. So guess what? His wickedness, you'll eventually see his wickedness, man. And that's why we are to never trust him, man. All right? Should never even believe a word that he says. You know, what is they used to say it in the medieval times. It says, you silver-tongued devil, you know. Basically, you know, you smooth talking, you know, you might make it sound good, you know, but inwardly, you know, it's wrong. You know, we don't trust this man. And this, him trying to do away with the penny, him trying to do away with the coins is a prelude of what's to come. All right. And like I said, we already know the game plan. We already know what he wants, you know. So when we see things like this, we see that it's being portrayed, and we see that they're making moves to go towards it, you know. Trying to get rid of the penny, trying to get rid of the coins, then eventually the dollar, you know. Hey man, it's coming, man, you know. What Lord will, I hope this video is edifying. Until next time, shalom.